It have.
Yes,
SMEs.
yes, yes. So today we are going to discuss about one layer which has been buzzing around the world for a lot of time in the sense from the last 3 to 4 years, pretty much. Okay. And that layer name is known as intelligence layer. Let's forget about artificial in the intelligence. Okay. So for some time, so that we can at least know, what kind of transformation a leader can get. Okay. And that's the reason why you are seeing and two different leadership double time. Okay. Because when you are going to go and apply for any position or anything else, people love to talk to another leader rather than another worker. Okay. So whatever the work which has been done for past, it's a past work. Okay. So, the immediate questions in this entire session, I will be telling, couple of the use cases, and those use cases, Satish, you have to work around them, and we'll be expecting those use cases work around to be completed by the next week, Friday, or by next week Monday. You can show it to us. Okay. These are the couple of the, you call them as an homework or something else which is going to help you itself. And after this session, I will be but the team will be sharing out a couple of this stuff once the entire onboarding process is already completed. Okay. Done.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, going into the next slide, whatever the transformation which is going to happen over here, now we are entering into an era of AI, okay, into that intelligence layer. If you just take a Rubik's cube, moving the pieces on the Rubik's cube which are available and matching those colors, it can be done very easily. But how does that system really moves? That Rubik's cube, how it moves? So now what we have to do is we have to take your experience, your expertise of enterprise, whatever you've been doing for last, 17 plus years, right? And add that to the layer which is known as artificial intelligence layer, right? So that layer will add, and then what you are going to get is that the positions of each and every cube which is available in the Rubik's, and that algorithm you can predict and you can put it out into the public as a transformed leader. And then when you are speaking to another leader, then people will start treating you out as a leader. For example, you know, how do you have to pretty much think in the point of view of an operations? Okay, when you are at your job, you should be asking the analyst, where are we really wasting the time? You should be asking these analysts or the people who are going to reporting to you, you should be asking them, which alerts are being more repetitive for us in this particular stuff. Okay. And you
Mm-hmm.
should be, knowing good enough what are that risks, identity risk, IAM management risk, and PAM management, what are that which are not really visible for us enough. So how are you going to add this intelligence layer into that is what we will slowly going. And while you are going through this entire process, it is not about, asking, how much time does this Jira ticket takes, how much time does this, DLP based algorithm can move from one application to another application. What is going on with your Unix, operating systems and all that. No, over here you should be able to manage the deliver, but the value what you are going to create is you are going to redesign your delivery system as a person who is in charge, as a person who is a leader, who is going to show the vision to their team. You have to show them, or you have to get that flexibility to redesign that entire delivery structure. Because whatever the delivery structure which you have seen in the past, it is completely gone case. Now adding this intelligence, because see, this intelligence, if you just see, this is go and come, it is going to come and amplify your thought process. Okay. And it is going to amplify the systems, it is going to amplify the platforms and everything. And nowadays it's not anything new or anything else which is not there. Every person uses these tools, chat GPT, Claude, or anything else, so they are amplifying us, back in days we used to go and do the Google search, and we used to do the lot of stuff, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, you have to get on these particular tools even if you're busy or anything, because these tools can be used on your mobile phone, even when you're traveling, when you're on the meetings, anything can be done. So that intelligence layer, when you are going to add into your particular, experience, that is going to give an amplified decision support system for you. And it will
Okay.
give you that level of an visibility what you would need. Okay. And that is where you will question your team, which approvals can be risked and which approvals cannot be risked, and which data can become the decision intelligence, literally. Okay. So
Right.
all this you will be questioning. So you will be in an authority of questioning rather than in an authority of listening. Okay. And then you see that leadership shift, and that is how you redesign your delivery. Okay. So rather than you say, I've been managing the delivery system for the, past 17 years, you should be saying that, hey, you know what, this is how your delivery system is there. And when we are adding an intelligence layer into this particular delivery system, and this is how we will redesign with the support of AI to give us what? To give us the decision support, to give us that automation layer, to give us that good amount of visibility, right? And then when you are seeing, when you're running these programs, okay, it is not only, I'm running this IT program as a program manager, blah blah blah. When you are saying that, I'm a control administrator, I'm managing, 20 control administrators, and this is my entire IT wing, and this is the program which I'm running, right? So you are
Right.
not going to do that anymore longer. You are going to say that, whatever the program which I'm going to do, that I'm going to incorporate the program's intelligence into that, so that I get visibility into the programs, right? So, for example, let's say, you know, when you are saying, I'm implementing an ERP system or ERP based tool such as Success Factor, okay, that is not a value which you are going to add into the organization. Okay. So, what you are going to say is that, I'm going to implement a decision support system for the ERP based system so that we can identify the data risks, and that risk will give us the intelligence, and that risk, from that intelligence we can take the right decision. Okay. So this is
Right.
how we phrase them. Okay. You are not going to straight away say that, I have an experience in, yeah, ERP plus AI, tools to implement them. No. You come to that storylines, and that is how you generate the value to the people. And when you're talking in such a way, you show that value to be, in your context, right? So, the value again will no longer belong for your management skills over here. It might be an security based product, it might be a non-security based product, it might be an healthcare product, or it might be in anywhere. The value what you are going to bring in when you are adding this AI into your, blood, into your experience, into your sweat, into your resume, whatever it is, right? You have to mention that the time which you are, you know giving, or the time which our entire team is going to spend and everything, right? So you are going to reduce that particular response time, you are going to improve the visibility, you are going to support with the better decisions. So this is how you say that this is a value I bring in when I add this intelligence layer into the whatever the management, whatever the implementations, whatever the programs which are driving, whatever the delivery which you are doing. So there are four different angles for this. One is redesigning your delivery. One is implementing the programs very intelligent way. Okay, and turning the data into the risk based data points so that you know the decision vectors, and reducing the time for the visibility and better support systems. And this is how the four dimensional integration of this AI layer should work out inside you. So this is how we are pushing it into you. So that is why, by next week Monday you should be coming out with the couple of responses, couple of ideations, and there will be an use cases which we'll be discussing through this media right now in next 1 hour, whatever we are going to do. So you see that career transformation coming out when you are putting that efforts backside. Okay, right? So
Yeah.
we are clear with this, right? So in the past, whatever it happened again for you, the entire enterprise technology, which you are pretty much aware of, if you see now, when you are putting this AI into the industry, and when you are saying that, I have gained the enough knowledge in this particular AI, and this is the knowledge what I have, and this is what it is, because your past experience is very much structured. Okay, you have an issue, raise a Jira ticket. Okay, you have an issue with the data flow, go check this Splunk. You have an issue with, somewhere in the ERP, some button is not working, go reach out to the developer. So it is very much structured. Okay, because over here now you are implementing this AI into your leadership skill, into your experience, and you are going to implement this into your work style. Okay, so what is going to happen is that your work style, this is your second brain indirectly. Okay, so that second brain is going to be in each and every cube, and it is the connectivity layer which you have to put it. So when you look at a gamut, okay, when you look at a gamut, it is going to be very, very surprised for you. Okay, so what are these lines? All those red lines, if you are seeing, it looks like it is going through one cube, but it is not going through another cube. So that entire sense will keep working on. And that is the reason why when you asked me, we'll be keeping learning everything. It is not going to only be related towards the security or everything. Okay, it is going to cover you that entirety of it. So, in past you were dealing majorly with the access controls, databases, governance controls, applications, infrastructure, and network. Whatever the issues which you get over there in that particular layer, you are managing and you are delivering that particular value. As I mentioned, over there, you are delivering that particular value, right? Just a minute. You're able to see my screen or not it?
Yeah, yeah, I'm able to see your screen.
Sure.
Yeah, it not
Okay.
now. It was just
Okay.
off for a few seconds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Just give me a minute. 1 minute. For some reason, my battery is dying and screen sharing has stopped. Okay. Let me charge it.
Yes, sir. Or you
Okay.
share that with me. I'll be sharing the screen, sir.
No, no,
If
no.
possible.
I'll just share it to you. Just give me 1 minute. Just have
Yeah,
to
sure.
plug it.
Okay.
Okay. Just have to plug it. That's in my another room. I'm just bringing it and plugging it. Okay. Yeah. So, whatever the stuff which you are seeing now, okay, where is my cable? Cable. 1 minute, okay? Sorry for the interruption, but oh, my bad. I don't have power.
Oh,
Okay, whatever. I'm just switching to my another laptop. Just give me a minute. Okay.
okay. No issue. You can.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption, but we'll just keep continuing it. Yeah.
Sure, sure.
So as we discussed, those lines, looks very havoc for you when you are just, taking a look at them, right? But, you know, this is going to really help you out to get exposed when you are integrating this artificial intelligence into your own work streams and everything. It is going to, help, how the team members are really working out. What is the difference between the people who only manage those existing systems and all that kind of stuff, right? And that is the reason why when you go into any kind of an organization, okay, when you get into any kind of an organization, we should be flexible enough to fit in and to work according to their working style. But if you see that, if something is really not working out, and the organization has a great vision, for example, let's say, organization is saying that in the next 2 years I want to integrate the artificial intelligence into my risk team, okay, so that every week I would need to get the risk levels kind of is the whatever you say, that vulnerability assessment reports to be happened. So how are you going to implement this? So this is a case study, you guys have to work it on that, and please return this particular case study in the form of a documentation or else in PPT. That should be fine. And it will help you to think about how are you going to articulate this to your team members. If you have a team of 3 people, how are you going to do that, right? So all these can be understood. So, what is that intelligence layer which we are talking about? What is artificial intelligence? Just to tell us, right? So, artificial intelligence, it's not a tool, okay? To be frank enough, it is not a tool that you are going to just place it over there and start viewing the dedicated, the workflows or else the dedicated streams of data where it is going and all that, right? So artificial intelligence, again, if you have very good foundations in this, it is not going to replace any, individual or a person who is going to work. It is going to do at an higher level. It is going to expose the unidentified outliers, or you call it another name, anomalies, or it is going to give us that productivity based risk and everything, okay?
Right.
So when somebody literally asks what is artificial intelligence at your capability, you should be telling them that it is a decision support system and it has the capabilities to automate and to improve the speed, consistency, visibility, and productivity in the working style in the enterprise where we are going to implement it. But if the same question, when it is being asked to a fresher, a guy who just recently passed out, or an entry level guy, okay, he is going to tell saying that artificial intelligence is a tool which I keep using on the chat GPT, and which chat GPT returns me better code. Okay, so when we are saying better code, how are you going to validate that better code? Being it an experienced person, you should understand what is a better code when compared to the human driven code. Over here for past 20 35 years, humans has been writing this codes, the coding, right? So there is a
Right.
difference between coding and the programming. But when they are saying that what is the better code, okay, so there are a lot of intrinsic factors, right? So again, when you are adding this particular system on the top of the layer, if you see, these are the existing layers which you have already seen, right? The ERP systems, Jira's or Splunk or any other stuff, any application, all these are simple system taking records. These are the applications, and this orange box is your intelligence layer. So when you're adding this, this is what you're going to recognize, the pattern detection. How are you going to detect that pattern? By using the AI. How are you going to support your decision by using AI? What are you going to automate? Just like in this early, we have discussed few of the questions, what questions you should be asking, right? Literally.
Right.
So those questions are very much important for you to summarize and generate that around yourself. Okay, so it's obviously, when you go for a walk or when you go for your jog or anything else, you generate something else which is known as you generate your metabolism system into a nice way. So similarly, when you are entering into this intelligence air, you're generating something else around us. You're going to generate a text, you're going to generate a code, you're going to generate the reports, you're going to generate summaries, you're going to generate images, presentations, emails, documentations, recommendations, hundreds of them. So that is how you come from the AI to the generative layer of the artificial intelligence, right? So this generative AI, which is around us every single day, okay, and it is became an you know to go application or to go tool or to go system, right? So this generative AI concept, it is going to help you completely to create these executive reports, to create those risks of the summaries, to create the incidents what we have, okay, to create the comparisons between the two vendors when they are submitting two different quotations and all this kind of stuff. And if you have to create an SOP, the processes, the policy documents, the drafts of them, you can literally get them done in an ample amount of time, right? So that is how you connect your experience in your project governance or in vendor management or managing this IT and all that kind of IT programs and everything. So all this can be done, but what is the ground, you know, thing which does this? We have seen AI. Okay, we are talking about the decisions. What are you going to get out of that? Right? So you
Right.
have seen this and you have imagined that you have the intelligence layer. So some level of an understanding of intelligence layer, which you have already, right? So you have this. So now you are presenting some documentations from PPTs, something else to your managers, to your reporting boss, or to your governance team or any person. So how are you going to support? Okay, so the people who are sitting on the other side of the table, they are not that dumb enough, first of all. Okay, so any leader, any person, any CXO person, any person who is currently in the industry right now, he understands business very well. Okay, so there is a difference between them and us because they understand business very well. We understand work very well. So there is a difference. So when they come out with some level of PPT, some level of ideation, some level of saying that these are my metrics, this is how things will work out, this is how it is. Hey, you know what? According to the CISO level, summary documentation which has been recently published out by the US AI Act people. So if we have to integrate these security issues and we have to integrate these kind of changes, and this is how the planning has to be the project towards the project, okay, not this in such a way. So when you are quoting this all stuff, if we are going to implement this drafted CISO level risks which we got into from the entire summaries what we have driven out, so this is going to give us a return time around 20%, 3%, 5%. How are you going to tell that? You have to do it, right? So as a person who is a leader, who is an person who is imagining himself to be next to that decision supporting system, okay, which is going to get amplified, right? How are you going to do that? So people over there on the other side, they are not that dumb enough. They have already taken these kind of leadership classes, sessions, or they've been attending, they've been talking to their networked leadership people and all that. So majorly, you will be working very closely with the VPs of, CISOs or else direct CISOs, or you will be working directly with the CSOs or CIAOs and all these kind of people you will be working pretty much, right? So that is the reason why, it's very much important to identify those patterns in whatever the work which you are doing over here, right? So if you have seen, we have discussed that holistic level of, AI and generative AI, and now we'll come into the large language models. This entire AI, which is working around our world, it is been working by a model. Okay. So what is a model? What is a system? We'll get that into next couple of sections. Okay. If that is in route where we are going, so we will discuss about that. So there are LLMs and LLS things. Okay. Large language systems. Okay. And large language models. But keeping this towards our thesis to be discussed, right? So what is that value stack which you are going to bring in? You are going to bluntly say that I have used LLM and I think this is the best decision which LLM has gave me. LLM never gives you a decision. Okay. In an highest level, to be frank enough, AI is never going to give you a decision because these are the pre-trained models. These models has been trained on the past, not on the future. So when you are working with somebody else, they are asking for the future. They are not asking for the past. Okay, because only the losers talk about the past. Only the future leaders, when we are saying the leaders, they are going to lead the people. These are the people who are the visionaries. They are going to talk about the future. Okay, so accounting your past and conducting that past into your present and evaluating them to distribute into your future, that is how you have to power these LLMs to come into that picture. All you will be sitting down and discussing with the CISOs and all these people about the past. And over here, the decision support system you are going to get is from the artificial intelligence, which you are going to use. Hey, you know what? This is what happened in the past. So let's recommend it. All it does is just doing the recommendation. Okay, simple. So there is a difference between recommendation and the judgmentation. Okay, so when you are at the office, at the premises, when you are working, what is that judgment which you are bringing in? So that is the reason why this generative AI creates that content-based synthesis. Okay, it gets into a loop of a synthesis. Okay, synthesis in the sense it's not original, right? So it creates that kind of a synthesis and it generates for you to report that, executive reports and all that. So these LLMs literally acts as the brain, not even as an heart, okay, as a brain, because this being trained out. Okay, so for example, now you go in and you draft a CISO level summary for an healthcare industry. Okay, so we would be expecting this to come out on coming Monday. Okay, so healthcare industry CISO level summary. What are the security issues do you have? Or else, if you want to say, what are the AI issues which you have, you go ahead. But we would be needing a drafted out CISO level executive summary for that, right? So these LLMs literally pump up that decision. So understanding these LLMs is what matters a lot rather than understanding the gambit of, the word which is known as artificial intelligence. Okay, literally. So why this literally matters to the people? Okay, literally why it matters. In the current world scenario, it literally matters because it is going to reduce the manual work which you are having. Okay. And it is going to improve the quality of the life of a person who is working in that particular thing, in that particular stream, domain, whatever it is. So, as I said, these LLMs are going to act as an additional brain for you. So, indirectly, you are creating an additional brain for yourself. So these are going to improve, the visibility into the working style. It is going to improve, it is going to help you to take the faster decision supports, okay, and faster decision makings. And it is going to help you to be prepared for your real job, okay, because your resume already has an experience which talks about, managing infrastructure, security, Splunk, New Relic, and all this kind of stuff. So inside Jira, right now you have a Copilot. So that Copilot gets powered up by these LLMs. So how you can use that Copilot to get a summary, to write out in minutes of meetings, to know the entire report where you have to present it to your boss or anything else. Just use that Copilot in such a way that, hey, you know what? Tell me what are the intelligent layers which I have to concentrate for the operational and security environments so that I can improve the posture of the security visibility. So these are the thoughts which has to run in your brain. Okay. So ideating a thought is very much important in real mathematics world. If you have to say formalization, these thoughts is very much important. Formalization is a very, you know, toughest topic to discuss in the LLMs also, but I will not get into that particular level. Okay.
Right.
So hope you understood that, right? So as we are discussing the queries and everything, as you have seen, as mentioned, the clean CISO level executive report, how you are going to ask. So this is few of the prompts. So I mentioned a very longer prompt to you, but these are few of the prompts because you already have the access. And these LLM engines, for example, the Jira, again, it has an access towards your documentation. In Jira, you have a tool which is known as Confluence, which creates those documentations, the policies, the issue logs, everything. The developer puts everything over there. Similarly, we have a tool which is known as Avatar. Okay. Krishna, you can give that Avatar tool access to Satish. Okay. That prior to Saujanya, just ask her at what level, at what state, because he will be going on leave for 2 days in the next coming week, I believe. Right, Satish Garu, what days are you going on leave in the next 2 days and in next week? You have any
I,
plan for that or not at
I
all?
think Monday is for sure, Ante. Mm.
Monday you are leaving.
Okay.
Okay, fine. And Tuesday I can count it on or else
Yeah,
you
mostly
will.
Tuesday we can count it, but I will let you
Okay.
know, Andy. Yeah.
Sure, sure.
Okay. Sure,
So
sir. You can
what
let.
I would
I'll go.
suggest is because Monday you will be going on leave and myself I'll be not available on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but on emails because I'll be traveling to another place. So Krishna, Saujanya, and you guys can sit down in this 1 hour session. What I would
Mhm.
recommend is help Satish Garu to get his use cases developed. Okay, so that you guys also start learning parallelly how these are going to get developed, right? So one
Mhm.
of the request which I have asked right now is, create a CISO level drafted out, summary and mitigation plan or whatever you want to do that for anything. Okay, so create a risk level plan. How does that executive report looks like? So that when you are going to work, this is how it is going to be there. Okay, so take
Right.
help of those LLM engines and let's you take an example of any company, whatever the company which is publicly available, or you take an example of Foundries as a company. If you want to do it, you do that. I have no problem. Any company, but make sure this report has this. Okay, yeah. So please work around so that you guys know as a team how to work around also. Okay, right?
Right.
So yeah. So understanding the next level, understanding few of the, terminologies in this particular, way, how AI is going to really help us. Right. So in the IT operations, in a traditional way, whatever you've been seeing, monitoring, reviewing these tickets, searching those knowledge base, that is what we'll be doing. But now, as a person who is the program delivery guy, who is the, vice president for operations or delivery, or the guy who is, taking the heading the operations of security posture or heading the operations of an implementing an ERP tool or ERP system, right? So what he has to do now, summarization is very important and as well as classifying them. You know, in back in days, you used to sit down on the Jira and list out, what is the to do, what is the happening, what is not happening, what is has to happen, what is backlog, what is front log, what is, dumped log, all this stupidity comes into the picture, right? But what exactly this Copilot can do you? When that Copilot, you have it over there, what exactly it can do? So you can take an Copilot help, which is known as Opt GPT, and you sign up for that. That is freely available, Satish. Okay. And if you have any difficulty to sign up, you can reach out to Krishna again. Okay. And he will give it out to you if you have any difficulty. But yeah, right. So, performing all these kind of different tasks, it is a given a thing for us. All you have to know is how to use that particular thing. So, as we have discussed, the value is no longer only in running these, IT programs. The value you are going to bring in onto the table to any people, it is that how you are going to run this program intelligently. What is that you are going to bring that? Very intelligently. Okay. So what are the Jira updates which you have to get every single day? Okay. What are those risks which you have to note every single day? What is the threat intelligence summarizer? Do you have a threat intelligence mapping in your organization? If you don't have, you need to ask, hey, before I'm joining the organization, do you guys have a threat intelligence map? How are you going to summarize that? Yes, when he is going to say, can you please summarize that to me? What is that alert triage which you are notifying over here? What is that, anomaly detection which you are doing? What is that identity risk which you have to keep that consideration? All these you should keep questioning, okay? And you should keep asking to your prior team members. And that is how you naturally get into that particular level of an experience, and that is how you keep bringing up this value, and that is how you are going to incorporate this intelligence. If for example, let's say, some guy, some XYZ guy, he's going to say, when you asked him, hey, I would like to know the alert triage, as well as I would like to get an summarization of the intelligent threat mapping, can you please give it? Yes, sir, I can give it to you. Please wait 1 week. When he is going to tell you this, you can imagine that there is no intelligent layer which is incorporated in this system. So, to get this answer, you should reach out to your CISO or else the person who is in charge. So, these people don't know maybe. So you see a skill gap, you see a knowledge gap into your organization itself. So what you go cleverly and do that, hey, you know what, since we don't have this, let's write an agent. Okay. In the Jira, that is where we keep tracking everything. Let's write a simple agent to get this thing done. Okay. So you ask your developer team to write a new agent. So you have some leverage over there. So you're working as a program intelligent guy right now, not as a regular program manager or the guy. Okay. So that these all small agents is going to help you out. Right. So every week when your CISO is going to ask you, send me a weekly status. Right. So for example, if you go and ask the Splunk guy is going to tell you, hey, you know what, I cannot send you the weekly status because we have only agreement to send you bi-weekly status reports. Right. So what you are going to do, you are going to bypass that. You are going to put a small agent over there to get a weekly status report. So now you take that weekly status report and you put it in front of your team members. This is how we are there. This is what it is coming. These are the dependencies. Let's solve them. And this is our security posture. Let's, create a control evidence preparation for this. Okay. And once you are done with that, with the case study what I have mentioned in the past slide, right? So, I would definitely need, control evidence posture in the organization. So now you have the summarization, then you have the control evidence summarization. Okay. So that will help you to understand how to control the mechanism. Okay. See, again, on Monday, when we regroup, and not this coming Monday, I'm asking the Monday after the next week. Okay. I mean, like technically it should be the third week. Okay. So when we come over there, don't please give me a surprise. I would, because you guys can see how much effort I am putting in over here. I request my team members to put the same effort back to me. Okay. So please coordinate and work in that and create these kind of case studies. Okay.
Sure.
So that
Sure.
case study, you have to create it at the third week. By end of the third week, you can deliver it to me. So don't ask me on again on Wednesday or coming Monday, hey, what can you please repeat me? What is the the use case which I have to deliver on the Monday, on the following Monday. Okay, because this is a recorded session. If you haven't heard this, please listen to this. And if you don't know, if you're skipping something else, please take advantage of this. And once we are complete with this, please send out a minutes of meeting, or else please send out a cadence, things to do, what not to do, and what to do, literally as in summary, so that it lives as a track, so that at the end of the day, what I don't know is a very absolute blunder statement we will be doing when we are standing in the position as a leader. Okay, when leader says I don't know, or when leader gets into a confused state that what, this is not coming to my mind, then what happens to your 20-member team members, or 30 members, or 2 member, or 1 member? It's gone case, because it's very simple that we don't have a vision for that. Okay, because people trust in that particular vision, and people see what are we bringing onto the table exclusively, right? So that is the reason why, in a deeper level, what we would be needing, right? When you are handling this SOC team, okay, security operations team, and the cyber security team exclusively, okay, this is a very detailed one. I'm taking an example of cyber security in this particular stuff, because again, it replicates from the resume, because I don't want to deviate out of scope to go nowhere. But as we are discussing this stuff, right? So I would always love to stick towards the scope which has been identified earlier. Okay. So in a traditional way, your security team literally suffers from this, alert fatigue. So alert triage, what I have explained in the earlier slide. Okay, if you correlate that, what is your alert triage? If you have your alert triage, then automatically you'll have your threat intelligence map. Okay, if you have your threat intelligence map, automatically you will have an anomaly detection. If you have your anomaly detection, automatically you'll identify the risk scoring mechanism. You will have that risk scoring mechanism. If you have your risk scoring mechanism, then you will have the review of those accesses, where this risk is coming. Then you know where to classify, where to handle this threat intelligence, where to summarize that. You know that. So once you have that review done, then you know how to generate an incident report. Once you have the incident report in your hand, then you know what is your security policy.
Hello? Vishwa.
Yeah, somehow Vishwa's voice got dropped, kada? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me check with Vishwa Garanti.
Hello? Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, Vishwa
Yeah,
గారు
now.
ఇప్పుడు వినిపిస్తోందండి.
You
సడన్ గా
guys
డ్రాప్
can
అయింది
see
మీ
the
వాయిస్.
screen also. Yeah, yeah.
యా
So those
స్క్రీన్ కనిపిస్తుంది.
current issues I have anyway. But yeah, let's go back to our discussion itself. So yeah, when once you have this incident report with you, which you have generated, then you know how your security posture is standing at an organization. So once you have that review done, and once you have everything, right? So then you know what is your control evidence. So where do you have to control? So as I mentioned, AI is not over here to play around with us. It is going to expose literally the things, the productivity of a working team, the productivity of everything. So imagine when you are going to work, you are not going to work with the people who don't know the AI, because the world is around the AI. So the people, when they are, designing an intelligence layer, they literally know how humans work. Okay. So we are creating an artificial intelligence for ourselves, which human brain can be replicated or human brain can be mimicked. That is the scientific definition of an artificial intelligence. Okay. Mimicking the human brain, mimicking the process of the human brain, mimicking the, thought process of a human brain and all that. So that is how, you come back from alert triage when you have this alert fatigue. So right now in the organization, the alert fatigue is the biggest thing. And there are hundreds of false positives, which happens, right? So that's how you come from that alert triage to SOC analyst based, assistant based, report generation, the evidence, and that is the summaries, that is the reviews, that is the security policies, that is the preparations which you are going to do, and you are going to present them to your CISO by using AI enablement. And that is how you redesign your entire value, what you are going to develop. So that is the reason why over here AI is going to reduce your time, improve the visibility, support the better security decisions, and all this will be happening for you. Okay. Any questions over here? We have still 7 minutes left, but I have a lot of content to be shared, but that's fine. So if you are too much with this, we can halt it over here and we can revisit tomorrow or tomorrow.